Alright guys, welcome back to the Underground. I am proud to present to you the top 30 PSVR dreams you must play for PS4 and PS5. There's some big ones, there's some smaller ones, but they all have one thing in common, and that is you must check them out. Without further ado, let's begin. There's not much to Crowbar Madness, but it's just so silly and had me smiling the entire time. The goofy ragdoll and sound effects just brought me pure joy. If you like creature features, Blank Space is short and scary as all hell. It looks good, has a few puzzles to solve, and a pretty startling monster following you. In Between Dream got me with its trippy Alice in Wonderland art style, soundtrack, and solid platforming mechanics. It's super weird and random, and I very much appreciated it. A short little boat ride through Eldritch Abomination oozes with incredible atmosphere and special effects, and on PS5, it just looks too good to pass up on. The play sessions are short-lived, but the gameplay in Grenade Survival is intense and fun. There's just so much chaos while trying to survive the constant barrage of explosions. Try and beat my score of surviving just over 2 minutes in Nightmare mode. I never would have thought the childhood pastime would ever be conceptualized into a VR game, but here we are. A clever new take on The Floor is Lava, where you actually see the lava this time. Dreams isn't always about games. There are some impressive pieces of art, and satisfying spinning disc animation is the epitome of V-art. You can also manipulate the colors, brightness, and select different music tracks. If I feature a puzzle game, do not take that lightly. Rolling Cubes is clever in its design, addicting, and really polished. It ramps up in challenge and mechanics, and it's just so satisfying to squeak out a victory. If you haven't played Fish Laser or Me, go play those first. Then check out Wargarble's latest project of Whiplash VR. It's a horror-inspired rail shooter featuring his unique art style and humor, and is one of the best streams with the aim controller. As a former bassist, I appreciate how hard One Button Jam slaps. It's a groovy song, and the Space Launchpad gives it a nice presentation on top of good rhythm mechanics. Bionic Revolution is a really well-crafted arcade shooter set in the future, and it features some really cool enemy robots and drones to eliminate, and the dodging gives it a nice cover mechanic that I'd like to see more often.
Cover me, I'm reloaded.
A simple test of skill and patience. Archery VR is a great technical achievement using a bow with moves. I really enjoyed sharpening my game in the woods next to the tranquil sounds of the waterfalls. It's really something else being inside of the world of a legit Sonic adventure game. The diorama-like Sonic experience is just incredibly polished, with no detail spared, and the gameplay is sharp too, a must for fans. A Dream of Cats is an exploration game where you search for catchus all throughout the world made of nothing but, you guessed it, giant warm and fuzzy snuggling cats. It's pretty easy to complete and has a nice ending. Another showcase for the aim controller, Operations UK has different modes from World War II to hostage rescue, and there's some nice attachments to mess with like silencers, scopes, and night vision depending on the level you're choosing. One of the first mind-blowing experiences I had in Dreams was Turbulence. It's basically racing through a Michael Bay film with tons of explosions and cinematic disasters to avoid. Best experience in first-person view. Yasuke is simply a great demonstration of sword fighting and parrying physics done right in Dreams, and takes place in a cool-looking dojo setting. Inspired by the classic Ghostbusters franchise, Something Strange in 2206 is an escape room that is bone-chilling and has really nice production values. Fans of PT might want to give this game a go. When I first tried Dreams Tycoon, I admit I wasn't expecting much. Then 1 hour passed, 2 hour passed, and I just couldn't put it down. It just gets more and more addicting to unlock and upgrade your city while raking in the dough. Set in the Resident Evil 3 timeline, Resident Evil Project Escape is an awesome survival game. Use items at your disposal, power up the generators to be able to escape, and avoid Nemesis before he busts through a wall and steps on you. Pulse Redux is a trippy rhythmic game that has simple gameplay, but numerous tracks and variety of songs well worth experiencing. It's a lot like Thumper, but without the nightmare fuel. Any fan of classic survival horror like myself needs to check out Urate the Sacred Bells. It can be a little tricky swapping between first person and old school static camera angles, but to get an entire horror game full of ghosts and puzzles, and a good one at that, is totally worth it. Not just an awesome racer with great physics and gameplay, but modes with elements of Motorstorm Apocalypse, Time Attack, and vehicle customization. It's an incredibly polished cinematic thrill ride and arcade racer throughout a city. The Missing Constellation is a simple exploration game that has you powering up mysterious formations, and it's the serene landscape, soft piano tunes, and jetpacks that bring it all together. What was once a little too blurry for me on PS4 now has become one of my favorite games on PS5. Tiny Quest is jam-packed with platforming, obstacles, and Metroidvania gameplay. Roadstar 1 and 2 come together to give you a large and awesome arcade driving experience out in the countryside. It has a variety of tracks with plenty of scenic views featuring mountains, waterfalls, and snow, and a good number of modes including time trials and AI opponents. Trigon's awesome for several reasons. It's a fun retro-style arcade shooter, but is bursting with changing colors and synthwave songs, features upgrades at checkpoints, and slowly introduces more and more obstacles and mechanics as you progress that make it more addicting as you go. As a lifelong fan of platformers, Choco 64 was a pleasant surprise. Several stages are heavily influenced from anything Mario to Zelda and so on. And at times the levels just look absolutely stunning to traverse. It really takes advantage of being inside the worlds. Not only one of the most impressive games visually, but the Tron-inspired neon motorcycle elimination gameplay is just as on point as well. You feel like you're in a stadium competing in a futuristic event, and the atmosphere is electric. When adds multiplayer, this game will benefit the most. Those seeking adventure should look no further than Jungle Bill VR. It's a mix of exploration, platforming, treasure hunting, and all takes place in a stunning Amazonian rainforest full of temples, tombs, and traps. Lara Croft and Nathan Drake would be proud. Well, that's it for now, guys. Let me know which ones you're the most interested in, favorites you've played, or other dreams that I missed, because the fact is there are so many more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.